life, everything that we do as humans, we prepare for, especially if this is a goal that we're reaching out for. We prepare to graduate from high school. In some cases, we prepare so that we can get a degree from college. Or we prepare ourselves in order to obtain some kind of certificate that allows us to perform a certain task. Or in regards to our health, we prepare our bodies in an effort to maintain a good standard of living as well as to uh, maintain some longevity when it comes to our life as well. So, preparation is not a stranger to us as individuals, or it shouldn't be. So, now let me pose a question. If we prepare for everything else and we're diligent about our preparation, why isn't the same attitude taken in regards to marriage? And so, the video that we're about to do a review on is one that I could not allow to pass. Shout out to the Lapeef Network. The video that we're about to look at is a sort of personal dialogue from Miss Courtney Michelle. Let's get into the video and see what we can find out. Yes, let's see what's going on.
What is good, family? This is your Renaissance Spell, Courtney Michelle, and I am getting deeper again today for you. I want to talk about something that I cannot stand. It's the sister code. The sister code. I cannot stand the sister code. So let's talk about it. You want to know what the sister code is? Right. So you remember back in the day, it was like the bro code, bros before you know the rest. Well, now it's the sister code where it's sisters before misters. So what that means is women that are able or wanting to group together and decide to dismiss men, and whether it's right, wrong, or indifferent, what they're going to do is always agree or come and protect women and forget about the men. How whack is that? It's whack because it's not only high school or college women that's doing it. It's 30, 40, 50-year-old women that refuse to align with men even if they're right. What's interesting is that it's married women that are doing it as well. They will dismiss and neglect their husbands just to go with the sorority of their girlfriends. And we got to change. This sister code has to be broken up. I think one of the most important reasons why the black man and the black woman are having so many issues is because women are not wanting to hear men. We're wanting to hear ourselves. We're wanting to be pretty for ourselves and get our lashes and nails and hair done to look cute amongst each other. Even when our man is telling us, I want you in your natural hair. I don't want you in those raggedy, long, weird lashes. Guess what we do? We do it anyway. And when our men say, well, why are you doing it? I don't want that. I want you natural. Well, my homegirls got it. My girl, we're going to be cute because my girls want it. Completely dismissing the men. So we have to break it up. How are we going to break it up? We need women to speak up. We need women that are strong and enabled and don't care about the sister code to start speaking up. So when you break the sister code, they start name calling and shaming. Of course, they call it sign language. And they call me all the time, and might call you too if you break the code, a pick-me. Oh yes, what is a pick-me? It's funny, I Googled pick-me a while ago because I didn't know. People kept, calling me pick-me, and I said, well, what is this? So I Googled it. Do you know there's thousands of videos on YouTube about women being upset that women want to align with men? That's a pick-me. Someone that wants to cater to their man, excited about doing it, and they get shamed for doing it by women that apparently don't want to. So yeah, you'll be called a pick-me, and that's what I've been called. And that's definitely fine.
So now at this particular point, I find it necessary to pause uh, because I must admit that this particular the concept of being called a pick me because of wanting to prepare yourself for the life that you want in the future. I was under the impression that the various female movements that exist now were all about choice, all about what it is that a woman determines that she wants to do. And not only that, but after this particular woman, this particular individual has made her choice, that there shouldn't be any shaming or guilt attached to the choice that she makes. If you want to be a college educated doctor or lawyer, that's fine. If you want to be individual who goes in an effort to create a lifestyle for yourself where you're independent of a man, that's okay. But then at the same time, because this movement is about equality, freedom of choice, shouldn't there also be the possibility that there are going to be some women among us, some ladies that choose to align their future with a man, to have a husband, to have children, to have a family? Why is there any guilt or shame attached to wanting to be an individual who is a housewife? Why is there shame attached to that? Why is there shame attached to women who are grooming themselves so that they can be a suitable wife to a man in the future? That sounds kind of contradictory, doesn't it? Let's get back to the video.
Women like me, women like you that are tuning in, that are wanting to align with your man, that are wanting to be the traditional woman, that are wanting to be a woman that's not combative or angry and caring and nurturing, and are desiring either to have a husband or desiring to be a better wife. It is us that have to stand up. It is us that have to not be scared about what they might say or how they are going to look at us. Who cares? We are for our men. We are for our family. And I'm not doing anything to appease any woman. For what? I'm too grown for that. Growing up, looking at my grandmother, she was an extremely strong lady. She was married to my granddad for 50 years until he passed away. She loved that man to death. She fought over him a lot because he was known to be a little playboy. However, she never left him. She had 8 kids. One is my amazing father. But when he left her with everything because that was his love. And she went through a lot with him. Man, the stories that she told me, and I remember being a young girl and saying, Grandma, how come you never left him? He cheated on you. He had a child on you. And I remember everything that she told me. And one, she was like, well, why in the world would I leave my husband? I love that man, and he takes care of me, and he takes care of these kids. Yeah, he's made a mistake, but I'm in this for life. For the best of me, I couldn't think. I was like, oh no. If I would have told my homegirls that, they would have been done said, girl, leave him, girl. He ain't worth it. He cheating. And I know I told my grandmother that before. And she said, well, that's why you don't bring people in your business. And those women that would tell you that are usually single or bitter, or their man done left them. Keep your business at home.
Okay, let's pause here again. I apologize for interrupting her train of thought. We'll get back to her presently. But now I find it interesting to see what she just did there. Did you notice it? She presented a clear comparison between what she deems as a traditional woman, her grandmother, and some of the thought patterns that she and her friends had. Did you notice some of the things that were mentioned? Of course, there was some difficulty that she mentioned between her grandmother and her grandfather. He had evidently gone outside the marriage, and he had produced a child. But her grandmother made the statement that she was in it for life. So she expected that there would be some difficulties, but despite the difficulties, it was her determination to make things work. It was her determination to be solidly fixed in that particular relationship. And as a result, as Courtney mentioned, everything that her grandfather owned became his wife's when he passed away. So what are we talking about here? We're talking about really the comparison between a traditional woman and a modern woman. And we're seeing that there are quite a few differences, pronounced differences between the two. But you'll notice that in the way that she speaks about her grandmother, there's some confusion as to whether or not this same course is what she should take. Let's keep going in the video.
And stay away from those type of women that will put you in a predicament that will make you lose your family. Your family is the most important thing, and you can get over anything with your husband. So that was so powerful for me. It was powerful to me because I'm like, this is the first time that, I'm listening to my grandmother talk about relationships and how I was getting it wrong and how I got it wrong. I had an amazing relationship and I left him. I left him because I had single feminist women in my ear. I was a stay-at-home mom and I had it good. And I had my sister code of women telling me that you have a degree. He's controlling you. What, you have to ask him for money? I have money in the bank. Oh, you sound so sad. You have to ask permission to do things? I let those women get in my ear. And it almost single-handedly destroyed my whole entire family because I listened to that sister code. I didn't listen to my grandmother, who was traditional and kept her family together. And even though my granddad has passed, my grandmother has acres of land because my granddad provided. I left mine, being a modern woman, and what did I have to do? Struggle. Yeah. But that's what listening to the sister code. That's why it's important that we break it up. That's why it's important that we listen to our grandparents and our parents that are married for 20 plus years, and even though they might have gone through things, they're still together and they're better for it. And if I look at the modern woman that's broken up and have multiple babies, living on welfare, which one do you think is better? So anyway, or maybe I got it wrong. You tell me. Maybe it was just the luck of the draw that maybe I just messed up, and the sister code. It's really good to have your girlfriends and let them know your business and let them get in your ear. Yeah. Or maybe I'm right. Maybe we should break away from this sister code. Maybe we should start focusing on our family, and our family is not the girls that we hung out with that have nothing else to do but to go out and drink. Maybe it's aligning with our man, with your husband. Maybe it's getting back with your baby daddy and making it work. Maybe I'm right on that. So anyway, let me know. Comment, subscribe, let me know what you think. Am I right or am I wrong? Did my grandmama get it right? Or did my little Femi friends got it wrong?
All right. So now that is the extent of the video. Pardon me pausing. I think it was very profound. And I think it was profound because the freedom of speech that Courtney Michelle could execute is because of the fact that she has seen both sides. She's been exposed to both sides. She's lived both sides. But now, to the point of the discussion that we need to focus on. We need to do away with all of these negative labels that are attached to individuals who want to do something positive. Wanting to be a wife is a positive. Wanting to be a mother is a positive. Wanting to have a family is a positive. These are not situations where individuals should be shamed because of the choices that they decide to make. Because now, in my opinion, and it's up for debate, but in my opinion, being a mother and a wife is one of the most fulfilling, most rewarding things that a woman could do. Being a father is one of the most rewarding and fulfilling things that any man could do. And so no one should be shamed for wanting to pursue that particular course of action. As a matter of fact, the way that things are going now with the 80% rate of single mothers in our community, we need more people with this particular mindset. They're looking not just to have children, but to have families. Families. Strong families make strong communities. And without those strong families, our community will continue to crumble because it's out of balance. And so this particular line of thinking restores balance. So now let's go back again to a couple of things. We said that Courtney Michelle really made some powerful points. I think one of the points that she made later on in the video is some of the wisdom that came from her grandmother. She said that family is the most important thing. And if you look at individuals that lived during that generation, that was absolutely the truth. For my grandmother, family was the most important thing. So much so that she encouraged all of her children to follow the course where they aligned themselves. If they were girls, to align themselves with an opportunity to have a husband, and if they were boys, to align themselves with an opportunity to have a wife. That is what she preached to them. And that is what she preached to me as her grandson. She was always happy to relate to individuals that she knew that she had children and grandchildren who had all of their children by their spouse. And so that's a wonderful thing. I think those are the traditional values that we're missing, and hence the reason why our community, our whole society is in turmoil. No one knows what to do, and no one knows how to fix the problem because we've gotten so far away from the things that actually work. What's the next point? She mentioned there that she had at one time a situation where she was married, she was a stay-at-home mom, but due to the fact that there were so many modern women around her and that she paid heed to what they said, then she put herself in a difficult position. She used the word struggle. And in most situations, that's exactly what women who choose to go against the modern traditions, that's what they encounter. They encounter struggle. Because you must understand that the family was created for protection. The man being the primary individual responsible for protection and provision, and then his wife and his children will fall underneath that protection. But if you don't have that protection in place, then that means that all of the difficulties that come upon your family, you have to deal with them. But wouldn't it make sense to have two people there instead of just one to deal with those difficulties? Wouldn't it make sense to approach things as a team? Because you understand that in a team you have a support system. And so you can alleviate a lot of the struggles, a lot of the difficulties, a lot of the problems by just associating yourself with a situation that will allow you to align with a person that cares and loves you and is willing to do what's necessary to make sure that you prosper and that you do well. She was able to ascertain that. She was able, through the difficulties that she has gone through, to see that this is a better way to go, to be traditional. And so she's aligned herself with that particular notion. But I will say this, after watching the video, it is absolutely refreshing to hear something that geared toward philandry and not misandry. See, we all the time we're seeing and hearing videos where individuals are preaching distrust of men because of difficult circumstances that they've gotten themselves into, partly because of choosing individuals who were not right for them in the first place. Now they don't trust men. But now, in all of the situations that an individual encounters, they have a choice. And if you choose to make the wrong decision, then you have to bear the consequences of that particular decision, no matter whether you like it or not. And so in Courtney Michelle's situation, she chose to focus on the positive that she could learn from the situation that she was in. And she came up with a conclusion that I think will be beneficial to her, to her husband, who she's going to find without a doubt, and to individuals who are tuning in listening to her. This is a more positive and a more reasonable approach. Because in the end, the legacy that you leave behind, who will you leave it to? If you don't have a family, if you don't have children, then what was the legacy built for? All of the years of education, the years of struggling in the job market, only to leave your the foundation that you built, the wealth that you've accumulated, to the state. Does that sound like a reasonable conclusion to come to? Now, as I mentioned, everyone has the choice to do what they will. But like I mentioned, if we're talking about equality, then whatever choice a woman makes, there should be no shame or guilt attached to it. And especially in this case, where Courtney Michelle is advocating for the traditional way of behavior by women. No shame, no guilt, none of that should be attached to this particular course of action, because we know that this particular course of action works. As a matter of fact, our community has continued to survive because of this particular mindset. So we have to advocate for it. We have to make sure that in amongst all of the negativity, we produce something that's positive. And I think she did a powerful job in doing just that. So those have been my thoughts. As I mentioned, shout out to the Lapeef Network, Courtney Michelle. This was a wonderful video. As always, please like, comment, and subscribe. Be easy.